Well, good morning. How's everybody doing? Today is Saturday, March 29th. Welcome back to Kari Moody. I thank you so much for being here and watching this. So, I wanted real quick to go over Sebastian's dad. He did a couple of interviews yesterday and left us with some great information, such as they're not considered suspects. That was a big one. Him and Katie had a meeting with TBI yesterday. I'm unsure why Chris was not there. Maybe he wasn't invited. I don't know the reasoning for that. But let's go over these interviews real quick because I find them very interesting. Give me just a moment. Let me share this screen.
Since your son went missing. How are you feeling today?
So this one is with Fox News, and let me get that to a full screen for you there. So this is as Fox News yesterday.
Same as I was yesterday. Just continuing the search, continue looking. I'm not going to give up. Nobody can make me give up.
And where have you been searching? Where do you think he is?
I've been searching everywhere. I mean, anything out of that 5 mile radius that the initial search did, they covered everything there. But there's stuff elsewhere. I mean, we got a lot of territory to cover. And it being over a month, he could be anywhere currently.
Interestingly enough, Sebastian's mom, Katie, said the same thing, and she was just, you know, she was given the run over on social media for that. But they're right. He could be anywhere. It's been a month. I mean, is there any reason to believe that he's right there in this 5 mile vicinity? I don't think that there is. So, hopefully, his dad's saying the same thing now as well.
So I'm searching everywhere.
You, Katie, and Chris had a meeting with TBI today. Did you find out any new information?
Not that I can discuss.
Any progression that might show hope in this search?
Oh, I always have hope. Can't take that away from me.
And how confident are you that Sebastian is alive, and what do you think he's doing right now?
Pretty sure he's probably playing video games somewhere. Nobody's letting him, whoever's got him, they're not letting him see the regular news. They're not letting him surf the internet. Or else he'd know that I'm looking for him. And he'd know that he should actually be trying to get a hold of me. And that keeps me going.
Is there a strong reason to believe he may have been abducted?
I don't know if he's been abducted or if he's just, over at a friend's house.
So with the previous answer he gave about him playing video games and, not being allowed to watch the news, be online, things like that. And then he says could be abducted or, over at a friend's house. And his body language makes me wonder, are they not on the path of thinking that this, Sebastian possibly had ran away?
Never know. But I'll know when I find him. I'll know exactly what has happened to him.
And other news outlets were reporting that there were lights seen in the backyard that were caught on camera by a neighbor's video. Is that true?
No. What that was a trash truck. Went through, picked up trash, and when it left, of course, it went faster. It didn't have to stop to pick up trash. That's just false information provided by a particular person.
Did the dogs ever pick up a scent for Sebastian?
From my information that I've been given, no.
Did they find anything?
Okay, so we have his dad as well saying that video with the lights that everybody's made a huge issue of is not related to Sebastian. So I don't know how many times I have to say it before it's a dispelled rumor, but here again, Seth is saying that is not related to Sebastian. It was not flashlights. It was indeed a trash truck. At least that's what they are being told by law enforcement.
Thing on Sebastian's cell phone that would, kind of show that he was going to run away or where he might be?
Not that I know of. He didn't have any internet access or anything on there. He'd have been able to call, text, take a picture, send a picture, use the calculator. That's about it.
Was Sebastian in school on Friday, the day before he went missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you, Chris, or Katie, or any of you suspects in this case?
No, we're not.
He shakes his head no, and he says, "No, we're not." I don't think you can get any clearer than that, folks. No, we're not.
Have you been cleared?
I don't know if the investigation is still ongoing. We wouldn't be cleared until the investigation is done. But currently, from my understanding, they don't have any information that would attach us to any wrongdoing.
So there's no information that would attach any of them to any wrongdoing. None of them are considered suspects. So hopefully, are people going to believe Seth? He's been the hero in this, and so are people going to believe that, or is that going to get spun where law enforcement's lying to them? He's withholding information to throw them off. I think that those are just kind of wild conspiracies, to be quite honest. The information we have is the information the parents have given us and the little information that law enforcement has. And that is all we can go on.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint physical custody. Somebody dropped the ball and didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
And how did you find out about CPS?
Podcast.
And I mean, how does that concern you, especially with this case that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means. But
So it's very crappy that he was not informed as the father. He has every right to be informed. The only thing I can think of is that Chris had said that did not develop into an actual open case. It's just that they were called to check on the situation, and maybe because it was not like opened in that sense, maybe that's why they didn't contact the father. And had it been an open, active CPS investigation, surely, hopefully, they would have reached out to Seth.
but I just know that I don't have all the information.
Is there an official timeline? And I know people, there was, we went to bed at this hour, but does TBI or anyone have an official timeline as to the series?
I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not involved in the investigation, so I wouldn't have it.
Have the three of you been in contact every day like you were several weeks ago about this?
I was in contact with both Katie and Chris today, but I've heard he said his phone is open and available. So is mine. You can leave a voicemail. Like 7 or 8 people have already left me voicemails today. I'm going. I get people calling me while I'm on the phone, and it's like I can't just sit there and answer the phone for everybody. If I did that, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of my house.
There's been a lot of
There's definitely a little struggle of egos going on here, and I can completely understand where Seth is coming from on this. Um, you know, I do also think that social media has really caused a huge divide with this family. It didn't appear that it was that way in the beginning. And of course, you're going to side eye, the last person that was with your child that hasn't been seen in a month. You're going to side eye them a lot. But it seemed like they were working together pretty good. But social media has definitely tried to pit the mom and stepdad and the biological dad against each other. And I don't like that one bit because hopefully Sebastian's going to be found. He's going to be safe. He's going to be brought home, and he is going to have to deal with this friction, this crap. And I think that his Seth is trying very hard to stay away from that, but he has a hard time getting away from it because anytime he does any kind of interview with anybody, it gets brought up, where it feels like the reporter or the person asking the questions is trying to create divide. They want to hear Seth say, "Oh yeah, they're a piece of crap. I think they're guilty." That's really what they want to hear. That at least that's how I feel.
criticism over this investigation. I'm sure you've received criticism as well as the Proudfoots. How does that make you feel in a time where you're just trying to find your son?
People are being that goes back to those keyboard warriors I talked about on the first interview that you and I had. They're still at it. They'll never stop. There's cowards in this world, and then there's people who are go-getters. My feet, they're on the ground. They're never going to leave the ground. I'm going to find my son. Period.
And plans, today on moving forward, any more resources being used on this investigation or anything you have to say about that?
The United Cajun Navy is currently sitting down there right now at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. 10:30. That's when volunteers need to show up. 10:30. Show up, have your ID, sign the paperwork, and they send people out in teams. When you show up, there ain't nobody there except for a couple people. That's because they've already sent teams out.
So he was still, highly supporting United Cajun Navy as of yesterday, and I think that's great. I wish that people would have followed the father's lead in this when he really asked, if you want to help find my son, this is what you'll do, and he laid it out clear as day for everybody. He wanted you to, put the crap aside and go sign up, follow those rules, and go help look for his son. He begged of that, but we know that didn't happen, and so I'm sure they lost quite a bit of volunteers. There, some big channels did go after them, and hopefully they're rebounding that from that, because what really matters is that we have people out there searching, coordinated search efforts. I understand anybody can go out there and search, but what's the sense in wasting the time if something has already been cleared? And these coordinated search efforts, they have all that information. They have those maps of where they've gone, where they still need to go. So if you're going to use your body and your feet to help search for Sebastian, please, please go to the places that they still need searched. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good to just go back over other things because you have your own ego and you want to do things your way.
I keep sending teams out until we find my son.
Have there been a lot of volunteers coming out to help find Sebastian?
Today there was, and I want to thank everybody who did come out. We're seeing an increase, and we're going to continue to see an increase. I'd like the whole state of Tennessee to volunteer, and then we'll hit other states.
And you're Sebastian's father. Tell me.
Now, I want to say something about that real quick, because the United Cajun Navy was going to be searching today. They had just posted an update just a little while ago. And let me read you what that update is. This is sad, you guys. For immediate release, today's search for Sebastian Rogers has been called off due to increasing security concerns. Increasing security concerns, you guys. And with the upcoming Easter holiday, the decision has been made as of this morning to pull back and regroup. This decision was not taken lightly. It is made with safety of all volunteers in mind. We want to thank all the volunteers that planned to be out searching today. We're very grateful. We will continue to evaluate the situation and support ongoing local efforts in the meantime. This does not mean the search is over. So I'm not sure what those increasing security concerns were, but I can imagine, because we've all seen it all over social media. And maybe that's their way of saying, we can't get anybody to come out here and help us search now. Very possible. If so, that's sad.
What is Sebastian like?
He's a unique child. All right. I mean, it's really hard to describe my son. I mean, besides being unique, whether he's up to no good or he's up to good, he's just got that uniqueness about him. It's really hard to describe.
I bet he
I mean,
does
he's my mini
too.
me. If he has a goal, he's going to accomplish that goal.
I
People
bet
at
he
school
definitely
are like
has
it. All the
his
kids are
his
wanting to
own
know when he's
little
going to come back,
quirky,
and they want to
adorable
help and volunteer.
personality.
Teachers are they're putting out prayers every day. Everybody, it's coming up. It's Easter. I'm hoping for an Easter miracle. You know,
So he's talking about the kids at school, that they like him. They're all praying for him. They're hanging flyers and stuff. And I've heard people say, well, that's different than what his parents said. I don't, or what his mom and stepdad have said. I don't see it that way. What I heard his mom and stepdad say repeatedly is that he doesn't have like a lot of friends, especially outside of school. He doesn't go hang out at friends' houses, like typical 15-year-old might. He does have some social um, issues or problems that prevent him from making, and forming and maintaining strong friendships, right? So, but that doesn't mean that the kids don't like him. That doesn't mean he doesn't have friends in class. They've never said anything like that. I'm sure he has tons of kids at school that, really like him, and they're desperately worried for him. They're probably scared. Is this going to happen to them? Where is he? Of course that they're going to feel that way.
can definitely use it in my life right now.
And why did they search the landfill?
I have no idea. They didn't. Not part of the investigation. They're not going to tell me stuff. I am emotionally attached, as any parent should be.
And how often do you meet with TBI?
If I call them all the time, call, text, hey, any new news? They either let me know or they let me know.
Are you happy with the work that all these agencies have done, or do you think there needs to be more?
There could probably always be more. We just got to figure out what more is necessary. Am I happy with them? I'm not unhappy. But you asked me that after my son's back, and it's going to be I'm happy. All right, because in law enforcement, it's always goal oriented. You know, go to work, put a smile.
Yeah, no doubt. If you're the parent of a missing child, there, or even a parent missing anybody, law enforcement is never ever going to work quick enough for us. The same with the judicial system. Justice never comes quick enough, and sadly that's just the way it is. So I get what he's saying. He's like, right now I'm cool with things, but we'll see.
Smile on your face, get the job done. I know that they're putting their effort, 150% effort into this, and I appreciate that. And I'm hoping it will pay off with fruitation.
Do you think Katie and Chris are suspects?
I have no idea.
So he shakes his head no. He says, I have no idea because he probably doesn't. It is an ongoing investigation. They don't know what happened to Sebastian. They don't know, did he run away? Was he taken? Is there foul play? They don't know any of that information. It could change at any time. He did tell the same reporter just not even 6 minutes ago that no, none of them are considered suspects. But yet she asks it again. You see what I'm saying about that whole rift that is trying to be um, the people are trying to do here. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit.
Sebastian's been missing for more than a month now. What keeps you getting up every morning, going out and searching for him?
Being a dad, having perseverance, wanting him to come home, wanting to watch him finish growing up.
Do you wear this every day? Talk to me about this shirt.
This right here is my own billboard to find my son. People notice people. People notice what people are wearing. So I am a walking.
Very, very true.
I have these in my car.
How do you select that photo? It's so cute.
Because it's cute.
It is cute.
It's got a smile. It's the last picture I took of him.
Aw. Sebastian just reminds me of an adorable, quirky teenage boy. He really does. All right. So the next one I wanted to move on to was Dolly Vision. And so what happened was Dolly was doing a live and Seth came into the chat. And it took Dolly a while to realize that Seth was actually in that chat. But so he was caught off guard as far as questioning and stuff. So give him some grace here. I think he did really well on the spot, way much better than I could have done on the spot for sure. And no doubt, afterwards he was like, "Gosh, should have asked this or that." We all would do that. So give him a little bit of grace on that. The only thing I wish, Dolly, you talk over people too much. His dad seemed to be in really good spirits last night, like a renewed hope, a renewed energy is how I felt watching him. And he wanted to talk as much as he possibly could. He wanted to talk about these things. And Dolly Dagnabbit, you kept talking over him. So let's listen to some of this.
Another answer. Now, do you think would your son know the area? Would he be easily lost? Does he get confused?
If you stay all the time in your house and you're only going from your house to the bus stop, and then you know how to get to where you're going to school, and the rest of the time you're in a vehicle, would you really know how to get anywhere by foot?
Yeah, I guess if your bubble's small, you're right. You really wouldn't know the area. So if you got outside that bubble, you could get lost.
You get stuck in the woods and you're used to blacktop, you can get lost.
I think a lot of the stuff is.
So that response, it almost sounds like Seth thinks that is a strong possibility that maybe Seth or Sebastian for some reason walked away and had originally got lost. I'm not sure, but that's how I took that.
When I hear you say today that they don't think they're a suspect, some of the behavior is strange, like the whole going out of town thing. I think that was a little strange.
So Seth's camera froze, and it couldn't have been at a better time, worst time, depending on how you want to look at it. But yeah, he's like, yeah, kind of, effed up that they, left town while I'm still out here searching. That's typical, very normal human emotion. I'd feel the same way. I would be like, you assholes, get your asses back here. I would be very upset about that. On the other hand, I understand. So see, Seth has a GoFundMe because he's not working. So he has that set up. That's what originally caused some of this rift between the three of them. And Chris and Katie do not have a GoFundMe. She's not currently working. She had to stop her college classes, put work on hold for a while. It's been a month, and Chris apparently needed to go back to work. I think we can all see they probably have some pretty big bills, and no doubt they still have to eat and live and pay bills the same as Seth. So I understand at a certain point, somebody's got to go back to work, right? They really do.
Lost, he at this point he has to have some type of assistance, right? Because where would he get food at? Or where would he would need water, he would need food. He would need some type of assistance.
He would.
And
And again, have you ever been homeless, man?
no, I've never been homeless.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you think he
I think this is an important part to pay attention to, what Seth's saying here and how he looks while he's saying it, his body language. Now, remember, he had met with TBI that day. You're going to hear later on that he had a couple of other meetings as well. So I think what he's saying right here is very important and interesting.
you think he may be going eating out of dumpsters, begging, like
I
trying to.
don't think you would be that way. I've been homeless before. Homeless people take care of homeless people, and homeless people have that little piece in their heart that where they take care of the kids. They always take care of the kids.
So you think he could possibly be in a homeless, like
Yeah, homeless camps and everything else. Man.
now look, now I've been out there in the woods in Tennessee, and I've done ran into a couple different homeless encampments out there that look like people were living in and staying in them woods. So I know there's people definitely living in the woods.
And I mean, I've been out there. I've looked for them. I take a picture of my son. When my parents came here the first week, that's the first thing they did. They hit the homeless encampments there in Hendersonville with pictures of my son.
Uh-huh. And anything come of that? The homeless, I'm sure them homeless people ain't gonna tell you much anyway.
Well, if a child's saying that he's running in fear or something, homeless people protect them.
Okay. What do you
Now, we do know that to be pretty true for the most part. I've heard that multiple times from various different situations. Um, it really he talks a lot about the homeless camps and saying if a child was to say he's in fear, then they're going to protect and take care of him. So that kind of makes me wonder, does Seth really think that this is a strong possibility? This is twice now that he's brought this up.
what do you make of the footprints at the retention pond? Do you think there is something to him, or you think that's just a busy area, or what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
I only knew about those literally just because I listened to that call.
Oh, to the dispatch call.
Yep.
Yeah, I was listening to that, and it sounds like he was running, but I heard you say he could swim.
Yep.
And that.
Okay, so that dispatch call, they weren't saying that he was running. It was the path the dog was running. And there's a couple of possibilities. Either law enforcement doesn't want the information out that they did indeed find Sebastian's footprints going over to that area, or and think in Summer Wells' case, we know that there was other um, there was other scents picked up, and there was footprints in other places, but law enforcement did not necessarily tell us about those. We found out in other ways. So that could be the case here. Maybe law enforcement doesn't want that information out. It's also possible that they were able to confirm fairly quickly that that had nothing to do with Sebastian. Wrong shoe size, wrong footprint, maybe it had a shoe on. whereas he's supposed to be barefooted. I don't know. So it could be either way. But law enforcement has never even brought it up to him. Apparently, Chris is the only one that has mentioned it, and maybe that's because he too heard that dispatch, that initial, when they went out there and they searched with that dog. Maybe he too just heard that, and so maybe he thinks that that's such a strong possibility that he believes it, regardless of what law enforcement. Law enforcement hasn't said anything about it apparently.
I went to that retention pond, and it ain't very deep. It ain't like he could drown in that. But I wonder why there's no trail from there. That's it just ends there.
It's a very good question.
And here, you live down there. Does the trash run that early in the morning for them lights to be a trash truck?
Okay.
Trash ran at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Need
The reason
it.
being at 3:11.
We need everybody to listen up here. The trash truck, those lights. Again, he talked about this in the Fox interview. Chris and Katie have both said the exact same thing. I think that we can put this theory and speculation to rest. At least I sure hope so, because it doesn't do any good to ponder on things that have been eliminated. And according to the three parents, this is eliminated completely.
But it's because the guy's DVR recorder is stuck at 3:11.
Oh, okay. So
I
he
watched
actually.
that whole thing, and they showed me 10 minutes of it, dude. And the timer still was at 3:11 when it started, and 3:11 when it finished.
Okay, so the video was actually at another time, and it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so he did
5 in the
earlier that
morning.
It's just the fact that their timer on the DVR was broken.
Have you been in communication with Chris and Katie?
They called me today.
Are y'all kind of patching up the relationship? I know they were a little mad at you about the GoFund stuff, and I've heard that everything. So, are y'all working that out? They got to understand that you're out there searching for the boy, and that you're going to need help. They got to understand that. To be mad at you or anything like that. They need Chris should be out there beside you, helping you. Is what I believe. They shouldn't be mad at you. That's a family thing. I don't know. And if it's true that they're not suspects and they don't got nothing to do with this, I hope your family can work this out and that Sebastian's found safely. And maybe it is just a upset with the stepdad and he's took off, and he's okay. It would make more sense than them hurting him for no reason.
See, again, Seth is trying to talk, Dolly, and you're talking over him. So we never really got the answer. It looks to me like he's saying, no, that doesn't make any sense, that Sebastian would have gotten mad at Chris and taken off. But he never really gets to say what he was wanting to say. Thanks, Dolly. You messed that one up for us. That GoFundMe did cause a lot of rift. And like I said earlier, I can kind of understand that in a way, but not really. But again, I think it's brought a ton of pressure into them, going against each other, the mom and the stepdad going against Seth or vice versa. And I believe the majority has come from social media. And Dolly, I'm sorry, but you see the way he's asking these questions. He's trying to get Seth to say something shitty about Chris or Katie. That's exactly what's going on here. And if you can't see it, I think you're blind. But what good is that helping to find Sebastian? It's not doing a damn bit of good. And like I said, if hopefully he does come home, and if at least Seth and Katie, when Sebastian comes home safe, they're going to have to find a way to get along for the rest of their lives. So they're already under an immense amount of stress and pressure, and gosh knows what other emotions they're going through. I can't claim to even, have an idea, but I know it's a lot. And this kind of stuff just adds to that, and it's not helpful. Not helpful at all.
Things just don't make sense with this.
Now, I don't know the reason that the CPS was called at the house. I just didn't know that. I heard you say that you found out later that they didn't tell you anything, that there was any reason.
All right, I'm just gonna skip over that because it's basically the same thing that he told the Fox News reporter in that earlier clip that I played.
I've listened to you say, because when you hear Chris and them talk about him and the mom talking about him, like, you know, he uses the bathroom on himself. They make him sound like he's not as functional as you make him sound. You make him sound like he's normal kid, everything's okay, and they make it sound like a little bit different story.
There is, not to play word salad, there are 3 parts to every story. There's my part, their part, and the truth.
And the truth, yeah.
All right. Now,
yeah, but I hope you're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be telling the truth. So I hope the truth is with you.
First of all, I don't got shit to fucking hide.
Yeah.
So but at the same point in time, I don't talk a lot of shit. I'm not the monkey at the zoo. I'm not throwing shit.
So, see, I don't see it that way. Again, regarding Sebastian's mom and stepdad saying, that he's not very high functioning versus dad saying he is, because I haven't heard them say that. I've heard them say the complete opposite, actually, that the only true issues he had were the social issues and the learning disabilities. And so I am of the team that I listen to every single interview they've done, and I don't get the whole they just down talk Sebastian. I truly don't. I think both sets of parents have done a very good job at representing who Sebastian is, and they both feel, that he's a smart kid. He's high functioning, and he's a very smart 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
All right. I will not defend people that dig their own fucking grave. When you guys are talking about their behavior makes them look suspect, it's probably because they want you to. That's their behavior.
Yeah.
I ain't their parents.
Yeah.
So I don't, and what I think he's saying is not that they're suspect. He's already said that, they're not, but their behavior and the way that, some of the ways Chris has acted and things like that have been a source of red flags for people. And he's just saying, hey, I'm not talking crap on them. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to find my son. And I don't know how many times he has to say this to people, but he's saying it here again. But he's also saying at the same time, he's not going to defend that crappy behavior, right?
I raised my son.
Yeah.
That's why this doesn't make sense to me. Was there supposed to be child support? No. Were we going back to court? No. Our decree says that we can change it the way we want to, that we both agree to it.
So they wouldn't have had there was no real reason for them to, because some people be like, well, she was scared she was going to have to pay child support, but y'all had an agreement with y'all child that y'all would take care of whatever between that needed to be taken care of. So there was never no child support. Me and my baby's mother, we made the same agreement you made. We made the exact same agreement. If my daughter needs something, I will take care of it. Right.
Yeah. You know how many times Katie's called me up, hey, he needs a new pair of glasses. Okay, well.
So he's saying there was no custody issues, no child support type issues, nothing like that going on there.
You ain't supposed to speak on.
If I answer something that I'm not supposed to answer, I'll know.
Okay. All right. So you said
I'll be in trouble later.
Yeah. So you say today was hopeful, which is a good thing. Okay. I won't go into what let me ask you this. They show you a video?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that video contain your son?
Yes.
Okay. Was that video from somewhere outside that house?
Yes.
That means your son's out there.
They showed me a video that I had been asking for from the very beginning. I wanted to see a video of my son after I spoke to him Thursday and before he disappeared on Monday.
Okay, so this video of your son is from after the time he went missing?
No, it was before.
It was before. Was it the video from the restaurant? I knew it was that video from the restaurant. You know, I went to that restaurant the other night, so I had chicken. And I also spoke to the people there.
Had chicken?
Huh?
Yeah, apparently a few people went to that restaurant, huh? So so when he went to see TBI that day, him and Katie, or at least Seth, was shown video of Katie and Sebastian, at least Katie and Sebastian in the restaurant.
You went to a steakhouse and had chicken.
I had chicken. Yeah, I had chicken. And a loaded baked potato and broccoli. I always go to the steakhouse and get chicken. I don't know why. I do it at Outback
Oh
too.
my God.
Yeah.
That's so weird, Dolly. That's so weird. Going to the steakhouse, you're getting some prime rib.
From the point that you haven't seen anything from the point he's went missing, just
No.
prior to it. So they showed you a little prior. Did everything seem happy in the video? Everything seemed good. Okay. All right.
Nope.
Well, that's good. But let me think. I want to dig into a hole here.
Dolly's so
You're
stumped.
not asking the right question.
Yeah. Okay. What do the police believe happened?
It's all right, Dolly. I was stumped too. I'm like, okay, what is the question? What is that question that you need to ask? I didn't come up with it either.
And what did they tell him? Did they ever hit you with anything? Did they? They just keeping can't answer that one, huh?
Didn't tell me nothing.
They didn't tell you nothing.
They're not going to tell me anything on the investigation
Well, why show you the video?
because I'd asked.
You would ask for the video. So, but
I asked. I said I need to see proof of life before he went.
before, okay, because you wanted to know he was alive before he went missing.
I wanted to make sure he was okay beforehand,
Okay,
and they
And
showed it to me.
and
I'd
he
asked for it.
and he was okay, and everything was good with him, normal.
Yep.
Okay, so he was fine at the Texas Roadhouse the night before, but there still is no video footage of him and Katie arriving home that I'm aware of. All the Ring doorbells in that area, it was really, really dark, no lighting. So if they had, we have not seen it. I'm going to assume, hopefully, somebody had that Ring doorbell footage at least shows Katie arriving home.
Oh. And you said he wouldn't.
Still not asking the right question.
Okay, well, tell me what the right question is. There, Seth.
Nabbit,
what
Dolly
do you
asked
got?
the
What do
right
you
questions.
know, Seth, that we don't know? Can you tell us what you know?
I'll tell you, I had 2 more meetings today afterwards.
You got? Okay, say that one more time.
I had 2 more meetings afterwards.
After you seen the video
I had 2 more meetings afterwards. I had meetings planned all day today.
with TBI, law enforcement.
So he said he had he had meetings planned all day today. That makes me think that the other 2 meetings, other than TBI, were already planned. They didn't take place just because of the information, he found out when he was at TBI. That's what it makes me think anyway. But that
Okay, you
grin,
met with somebody else.
see that
You
grin,
want to know why I'm happy?
that grin on his face, it just looks like he has such renewed hope. And I there's something there. Dang it. Seth, tell us. Dolly, dagnabbit, you messed it up. What is it?
Huh?
Is it FBI?
Nope.
Okay. Well, yeah. Why you
Just
happy?
more information that I didn't have before.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it, Seth.
Just more information.
Okay.
Now, see, I already
More
told them I'm running my own
information.
investigation as well.
Uh-huh.
They want to intrude upon their own.
Okay.
No, I'm
So he's told them he's going to run his own investigation as well. So that makes me think, did he hire a private detective possibly?
as well.
Do you think that okay, this is a question for Huntress. Does he think that they will wrap up soon and his baby will be found? She asked that question from the chat.
Always. That's beyond a doubt. That's an everyday when I wake up.
Okay.
All right. That's being hopeful and knowing that the answer's out there and I'm gonna find it.
Now, are the police being like reassuring that they're going to figure this out to you?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Okay. Have you spoke with the FBI?
Yep.
Okay. Now, one of my things is this: them houses out there in that neighborhood are really, really nice houses. Most of them have security systems.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that maybe he now has a private investigator, and has learned some things that gave him renewed hope. But I'm not sure who that second meeting would be with. What do you guys think? Oh gosh, the theories are going to go wild and crazy with this. Who did you meet with, Seth? We need to know. So now they're just going to talk about the house not having security cameras, which I absolutely agree with. It seems odd that $650,000 home doesn't have security cameras. The only thing I can say is it looks like a very small neighborhood and probably a very safe one. And maybe they just didn't feel the need to have them. I don't know. How long have they lived at that house? I don't know that either. And I think we're just about done. Again, this is Dolly's from last night. He uploaded the interview as its individual video, and the name of that is there at the top of the screen. So please go back and watch the entire video because there's a lot of good information there that I'm just not putting in this one.
Okay. And the condition, I heard you say something that has one side, he didn't want to play in football or baseball or anywhere he could get hit because he had like some water on his brain or something, a pocket on one side of his.
He had a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain. Yes, I believe my son is alive.
So he couldn't really take a blow to the head or nothing. If he fell.
Hey, I have a phone call coming.
All right. And so at that point, he got a phone call, and that ended it there. So no child support. Arrangements were made last year for Sebastian to move in with Seth this summer. So at the end of this school year, and then he was already enrolled to attend school where his dad lives. So that, to me, the theory of Katie needing to get rid of Sebastian for Chris's sake, that just doesn't hold much water. In fact, knowing all of that, the theory of Katie needing to get rid of Sebastian for any reason doesn't seem to hold much water. Also, I think that it's a stretch to think that Chris could have made it from Memphis to Hendersonville, helped do something with Sebastian, then hurried back to Memphis again. That would have been an awful tight timeline. I mean, I guess it could have been done, but I just don't think so. And if that was the case, law enforcement already has all that digital evidence. And you heard Seth himself, he's said it a few times. None of them are considered suspects. There is no information to make law enforcement believe that the three of them have anything to do with Seth's disappearance. So I'm back to where I was to begin with. Did he possibly text or talk with somebody that maybe his parents aren't aware of? Did he find some access to the internet? Now, this is a smart 15-year-old kid. They can find ways that us adults don't even have a clue about. So I think those are two possibilities. I'm not sure on the shoes thing. That does hang me up a little bit. But I think it's very possible that for some reason Seth did walk out of his home that night. Maybe he planned on coming right back. I'm not sure. But I'm not on the team that is ready to convict any of these parents in the court of public opinion. As of now, they are not suspects. They are not even persons of interest that we're aware of. And red flags are red flags. Shady is shady. Chris has his demeanor isn't, necessarily everybody's cup of tea. It's what I grew up with a father that was high ranking in the British military. You can only imagine. So it doesn't strike me as like odd and all of that, but I get where people are coming from. And definitely Seth and Chris, they have two completely different personalities. So it's hard not to pick one or the other, no doubt. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in your comments about everything that Seth came out with yesterday. I sure hope that they come to a resolution very, very soon. I hope that you guys are not deterred by assisting the United Cajun Navy in any search efforts that they do conduct. And like I said, just because they already have all that information, they already know what's been cleared, what hasn't, what still needs to be, locations of interest, things like that, that we just, me, you, another creator, we don't have that information. So let's work together. If you're out there, if you're in the area and you're able to help, you're able to search, you're able to hand out flyers, whatever that might be, please, please do your best to try to help. And with that said, I pray that this comes to a resolution very soon. I know that these families, they're hurting deeply. They're just, I can't imagine their kind of pain. So anyway, please give this video a like. If you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you as one. The best way to support the channel is by becoming a member. Just click on that join button below. That is the absolute best way you can support me. And with that said, you guys take care of each other, take care of your loved ones, take care of yourself. And until next time, bye-bye.